We're coming upon Shevii Shel Pesach, coming upon the ending of Pesach, when we focus on the miracle and the Chesed Hashem of Kriyas Yam Suf. Wasn't planning necessarily on putting out a shiur this week, bit of a tight schedule, but shkach to the team for pushing me to put something out there. And I wanted to focus on the miracle of Kriyas Yam Suf, specifically the aspect of it, the fact that Klal Yisrael saw the punishment of Mitzriyiim, and that's what led them to sing shiur. If you look at the text of Kriyas of Az Yashir, it becomes clear that what they're singing about is not so much the freedom that they're experiencing and their salvation. What they're really singing about is what they learned from seeing the punishment befalling the Mitzriyiim. One idea just to see Hashem's love for the Jewish people and how he brings vengeance upon those who oppress us. We see that Haftacha, which the Sfarim tell us, is Haftacha for all the generations. The Gam is to include the four Malchias. We see it B'koyim B'karov. And there's also this aspect of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Hasgacha protest, which I wanted to focus on when they saw how Hashem dealt specifically with the different Mitzriyiim in the way that Hashem divvied out the punishment. We know Chazal tell us that they experienced many miracles at the Yam Suf, that Hashem made 12 paths, and that Hashem made trees for them and different things for them. And at the same time, what's bringing them to Shira is they see Hashem's judgment upon the Mitzriyiim. Chazal tell us it doesn't seem like they're a good guy Mitzriyiim here. It says in the pasuk, "V'chol rechev Mitzrayim," they brought all the horses to Mitzrayim. Rashi brings that they ask, where did the Mitzriyiim get a whole army's worth of horses from? I thought all the animals died during Dever, during Barad, and they explained because there was the Yareis of Hashem. Those Mitzriyiim who feared Hashem, they feared Hashem, at least believing enough that the punishment was coming, enough to bring in their animals, that they were the ones, so their animals were saved. They brought them in during the Makkah, and thereby they had animals with which to supply to the army. And it doesn't sound like the pshat as they did it at gunpoint. It sounds like from Rashi that they were willing participants in helping reinforce the army to go chase after the Jewish people. So Rabbi Shimon says that the Kasher Sheb Mitzrayim Harug, the best of Mitzriyiim, kill them. The best of snakes break its skull. That none of these people are considered as good guys, meaning there's the good aspect that they believed enough to fear Hashem's vengeance, and this bad aspect that at the end of the day they're willing to donate their animals to pursue the Jewish people. And it seems the bad outweighs the good. The best of the Mitzriyiim kill them. And at the same time, they're all judged as individuals. The Torah tells us a language of heaven, a language tzalukal feres, that they sank, that they floated like I believe that's metal. The ochemu kakash, that they were like straw. And it also says yardubim sos k'mo oven, that they stank like a stone. And Rashi explains that they received different levels of punishment depending on how bad they were. The worst of them were treated like straw. They flung around in the water for a long time before sinking, experienced tremendous suffering. The best of them were like the oferis, that they sank quickly. And then some of them were like, the middle ones were like the stones. So none of the individual aspects of their actions were lost, even in their time of punishment, that Hashem picks up on all the aspects of where they're holding, and Hashem judges and punishes them accordingly. And Klal Yisrael, in this time of where the nation is being saved at the Yam Suf, this is part of what they notice. They notice this, they pick up on this, and part of their shira focuses on this, of Hashem's exactitude in the judgment, and not ignoring anything, and the aspects of the good that they had done. And Chazal tell us, the pasuk says, Hashem lifted up his hand and the earth swallowed them. What's Tivol Emo Aretz? Rashi says they were zochet to be buried. In the schar of sing that Paro says during Makas Barad, he says, Hashem hatzadik v'ani v'ami harasham. Paro confesses that they're wrong, and in that merit, his entire army here is worthy of burial. I'm not sure exactly the timing, because on the one hand, it says that the sea split them out for the Jews to see them, so they could take the spoils of war, and also so that they could know that that the army was dead, that they hadn't died, that they hadn't been saved on the other side. And at the same time, apparently they saw that the Mitzriyiim were being swallowed up by the land and being honored with burial, not just left to rot in the middle of the desert. And they appreciated that Hasgacha as well. And it sounds like to me that they appreciated that the Mitzriyiim, that Paro had said that Hashem is righteous, and it wasn't something which, it was a true recognition of Hashem. It wasn't something which reached the level where he let the Jews out of Mitzrayim, but it was some level of Akara of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and it brought him to free, and it brought him that his entire army was worthy of burial, because nothing goes to waste, nothing gets ignored. Reminds me of a story with Rav Steinman, that there was a boy who had been brought up in a frum home, and he'd gone off, and he was on the verge of intermarriage, and when his father brought him to, he agreed to go to a shiur by Rav Steinman, and Rav Steinman asked him, did you ever have a shiur of tshuva? Did you ever have a fleeting thought of tshuva? He said, over the last, whatever it was, 5-10 years, he said, yeah, 2 or 3 times. Rav Steinman said, if you only began to appreciate how valuable those fleeting thoughts were in Shemayim, you have no idea. You have no idea how precious they were in Shemayim. And it was something which inspired him and helped lead him back on the path. I apologize, I left out the best part of the story about the candies, but there's this idea of appreciating that even the little things are valued before HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and appreciating that that the Jewish people picked up on them even in this moment of overwhelming miraculousness, overwhelming emotion, a lot of big things going on. They didn't lose sight of the trees among the forest. They also picked up on the little things. May we learn from here the value of the little things we do and the sensitivity we have to have even towards the little things in others. May it uplift us and help us grow. Have a wonderful Shabbos.